Welcome to this week's edition of Channel 6 Scoreboard for the Echo Online. I'm Brittany Breeding, joined by Jamal Burton and Andy Robertson. Guys, the Bears were picked to finish 11th in the Southland Conference in the coaches poll and 12th in the Sports Information Directors poll. Do you think this is a fair assessment?
I think it is. They have a young team, a bunch of new players. I mean, only one player returned, Ethan Lee. They're going to have their troubles. In the Hendricks game, they didn't finish at the rim. You can't win games like that. However, they were on the offensive glass pretty hard and got 25 rebounds. So they actually out-rebounded on offense than they did on defense, so that's good. This team reminds me a lot of Corpus Christi from a couple years ago. They were young, not very good, and they turned around and they were one of the best teams in the conference last year, and they're projected to finish fourth and tied for third in both polls. So I think we're going to see this team struggle this year, but it'll be fun to watch.
I can totally agree with Andy there. Like he said, rebounding is a big thing, and it's a new coach and staff, new team, so they have to pull it together. I mean, you have to think about it. When you have new players coming, nobody just gets it at first. Like, everybody's not going to click instantly. You have to get that chemistry back. You have to be able to work together. So I think those polls are pretty good. It makes sense.
Okay. Did the first two exhibition games show you anything to be excited for on the season?
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness of the team. Mike Martin, he came out in the game against Hendricks, played the passing lanes really well, got 7 steals. That's pretty good. And then he turned around against the University of Ozarks and got 10 assists. So he seems like he's going to be a good combo guard, and Jordan Howard's going to be a good combo guard too. He put up 20 in both games, and he seems like he's got the playability, some nice handles with the ball, and he's going to be explosive for this team. Another guy I like is Jake Zulhoff. He finished with a rebound shy of a double-double. He 18 points and 9 rebounds against University of Ozarks. He plays really well. And Thatch Under, he's three-point specialist for this team. He's going to be a good piece to this team. This is a very balanced team. Coach Pennell is really happy about it. They play a lot of man defense, and they set up their offense really well, pass the ball around. This is definitely a different team than we've seen in the past years.
Well, you know me, defense, defense, defense. That's what I love, and that's what Coach Pennell brings to the table. One thing that I love about him when he first came here in his first interview, he said that defense wins championships, offense fills the stands. And so that's what I really think will be good for this team this year. That's what I saw in those first exhibition games. Also, like you said, freshman Jordan Howard coming out scoring the way that he does. But also he has junior Jake. He's also coming and putting up some points. So they have no problem there. Like Coach said, they have people who can put up 20 points a game, no problem. But defense is going to be the key. Up in those games, the first game against Hendricks, you also saw that they had forced 21 turnovers, and then you have they had 16 steals. So Coach is really looking. He's liking that, and he thinks that their team is going to play well. They play aggressive style defense, so I think that it'll be really good.
Yeah, they play a lot more defense than the teams we have seen in the last few years. I mean, the past few years under Corliss Williamson and Clarence Finley, they just ran down, shot the ball, were kind of lackadaisical on defense. This team shoots the ball and gets down the court and plays defense, picks up their man. If a guy screens, it sets a screen, they're back on him within seconds. So it'll be a good mix for this team. It'll be fun to actually see a defense played at UCA.
The Bears play a tough non-conference schedule with several of UCA's opponents being ranked and competing in the NCAA tournament last season. Do you think this will help or hurt the team?
I think it's going to help the team. I mean, you play tough opponents, you're going to grow, and you're going to become better. I mean, they have 9 freshmen on the team this year. That's pretty surprising compared to what they've had in the past and what other teams have. They opened the season against Creighton, and Creighton doesn't have Doug McDermott anymore. He went to the NBA draft, and Creighton's usually pretty good. They come up every few years with Kyle Korver a few years ago before Doug McDermott. So, I mean, that they just barely missed Doug McDermott. That's pretty good because he's one of the best scorers in NCAA history. And then they go to University of Nebraska Omaha. I mean, that might be a toss-up game, but then they hit number 21 ranked University of Nebraska, and they bringing back the junior forward Taron Petaway, and he outscored Nick Stauskas, who's in the NBA right now, and Frank Kaminsky, who had a huge NCAA tournament, and he also outscored Gary Harris and Adrian Payne, who are also in the NBA right now. So that's going to be a tough matchup. UCA probably lose that game by quite a lot, unfortunately, but I feel like they can put together a decent season with those tough games. I mean, it's going to hurt a lot, and they probably won't win too many games. Maybe, I don't know. But I think it'll be a good season to help play these teams.
Most definitely a tough competition and a tough schedule with Creighton and those other teams. But when it comes to playing tough teams, it's never hurt. It actually makes you better because no matter what you do, you can take something from it away from those games. That's why I say if those players go out and play hard and play 110% every time they step on the court and leave everything on the court, it's going to be really good. And like I said, they playing great defense right now. If they do pretty good and improve their defense more, I don't think it's going to be have too much to worry about. One thing they have to remember is that when they step on the court, growing together as a team, like that's what it's going to take because no game is guaranteed. Like anybody can win a game on any given night. It's just not given to a team. So they just have to remember that when they step on the court, defense is a big key. Rebound is a big key, and everybody really needs to just play together. Chemistry.
Right. It'll be a huge learning experience for this team.
Oh, yeah.
All these tough teams. I mean, I forgot to mention they play A-State and UALR this season, so those will be pretty tough
Really
games.
good.
So, I mean, we should have fun watching this team this season, and it'll be exciting.
UCA plays 29 regular season games. What do you predict this season will look like for this team?
I think it's going to be really good. Like, they're going to start off, like I said, in those 2 exhibition games, they started off kind of, they played well, but they still played rough. Like, they won those games, but they still had some mistakes. They still had some stuff they need to improve on, but eventually they will. So it just takes time for them to come together. The coaches, the players, all of that stuff they learned throughout the season. So I think as they play on and go further, especially playing those tough teams, that's really going to bring them out. Like, they're going to have a coming out. I think it's going to be a really good season, especially the way Jordan Howard's scoring, his percentage, the team's percentage, and the way that they're holding teams to 30% right now in field goals, that's going to be really good.
Yeah, and I feel like I made the comparison earlier about Corpus Christi. They 2012-2013 season, they went 6-23, one of the bottom teams in the conference, and then they turned around and became a lot better. And I feel like this is going to be what UCA's destiny is. Like they're going to come out this season, be kind of slow, maybe not win a few games or very many games because they play this tough conference or tough schedule. I mean, we forgot to mention Stephen F. Austin. They've received a vote to get ranked, and they went undefeated last season in the conference. So it'll be a tough season for the Bears. I think 6 to 10 wins will probably be a fair judgment for me. I mean, they can't go to the postseason because of APR or the academic progress rate, so they won't be the top 8 teams regardless. I don't see it. There's a lot of tough teams in this conference, and like I said, it'll be a learning experience for this team. They're gonna take these games that they play against Creighton and Nebraska and A-State and ULR. They're gonna take those learning experiences, become better for next few seasons, and they get some redshirt players or some transfer players next season that they don't have this season. So it'll be a rough season, but I mean it should be fun to watch regardless.
I'm glad you said that about Stephen F. Austin because that's really good. Like conference champions, like the thing that they did was rebound. They had those garbage men that got in there, got those rebounds, got on the floor. They got in those passing lanes. And if UCA can do that this year, especially with Coach Pennell's great defense that he's bringing to the team and his experience from all those top teams he coached at, as long as they just grow with him, it's going to be an incredible season. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, like you said, Coach Pennell brings a lot of experience. He took Arizona to the Sweet 16 when he was an interim, and he coached the Phoenix Mercury, who just won the WNBA championship. So he's got experience. He'll put this team together eventually. But right now, they're just learning.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. That'll do it for this week's edition of Channel 6 Scoreboard for the Echo Online.